Okay, when it comes to inequalities, okay, we deal with the signs, which is this one, less than, and this other sign means greater than. And also this is less or equal. And then we've got greater or equal. For instance, if I say to you that x is less than 2, it means that x can take the values of less than 2, which is then 1, 0, -1, -2, and so on until infinitely. If I say x is less or equal to, say, 5, that means I'm including the 5 because there's an equal sign here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and so on infinitely. In the same way, we can represent this on a number line if we want. Let's say x is less than 2. That means if you have 2 here, okay, you can go in the left direction. Less than 2, it doesn't include the 2, you don't shade this. As for x being less or equal to 5, you can take 5, but you shade the dot. That means it includes the 5, and then it's less than 5. All the numbers that comes below 5 is going to be taken as an accepted value. You can do the same for, let's say, y being greater than, let's say, -1. So if you were to put this on a number line, you get your -1 here, and it's greater than -1. It could be 0, it could be 1, 2, 3, and so on. So greater, there we go. And at the same time, you can say y being greater or equal to, let's say, 2. That means you're going to take 2 and you shade it because it includes the 2. It's greater or equal to. So 2 and then all the way up. So these are number lines when it comes to inequalities. What about solving an inequality? Let's say, for example, solve x minus 6 less than, let's say, 2. Well, the procedure is the same as solving equation. So you're going to say, therefore, x minus 6 being less than 2 is x being less than 2. The minus 6 can go there, becomes plus 6, and x is less than 8. So this is the inequality, and it's been solved. Now, if I tell you to solve, let's say 2x plus 6 is greater than 10. It's the same as solving an equation, except the sign is different. Instead of equal, you get the sign which is greater or less than. So we got then, therefore, 2x plus 6 being greater than 10 is the same as 2x being greater than 10. The plus 6 can go there, becomes minus 6. And so 2x is greater than 10 minus 6 is 4. And x is greater than 4 divided by 2. Okay, that means x is greater than 2. So this is the inequality solved. Let's suppose I give you another inequality to solve. Like, for instance, if I tell you to solve 2x plus 1 divided by 3 is less than x plus 2 over, let's say, 2. Now what you do, you cross multiply. Therefore, you're going to say 2 times 2x plus 2, 2x plus 1, less than 3 times x plus 2. 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times 1 is 2. And this is less than 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 2 is 6. From here you have to rearrange. Okay, so you can say 4x, you can send the 3x on this side, becomes minus 3x, is less than 6, and the 2 can go there, becomes minus 2. This is plus 2, it goes on the other side, becomes minus 2. Plus 3x comes here, becomes minus 3x. So x minus 4x minus 3x is x. less than 6 minus 2 is 4. And here we are, that's been solved. So this is a little bit about solving inequalities. What if you get something like this? Let me just pull this off. Okay, let's say you get 3x plus 1 in brackets minus 2x, okay, is less than, let's say, 5. Less or equal to 5. It doesn't really matter whether well, it does matter because the 5 is not included, but the procedure remains the same. That's what I mean. Okay, so if you have to solve something like this, first you multiply out. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is plus 3. Minus the 2x less or equal to 5. 3x minus 2x is x. Plus 3 less or equal to 5. So x is less or equal to 5. The plus 3 can go on the other side, becomes minus 3. Therefore x is less or equal to 5 minus 3 is 2. Here we are. Now, let's move on to something very interesting. If you get, let's say for instance, 2 into 1 minus x being less than, let's say, so 10. If I tell you to solve this, alright, so the procedure is the same. You can either multiply this out, you can send the 2 on the other side, it's up to you to do whatever you want. So what we're going to do is, let's put this more like into view. Alright, so I've got then 2 into 1 minus x being less than 10. So that means 1 minus x is less than 10. The 2 can go there, becomes divide. So 1 minus x is less than 5. Now, minus x is less than 5. The plus 1 can go on the other side, becomes minus 1. So minus x is less than 5 minus 1 is 4. This is where you've got to be very careful. The coefficient of x is minus. This is minus 1. So x, then you take the 4, this is multiplied, divide by minus 1. When you divide by a coefficient that is minus, the sign will change from less to greater. So in other words, we're saying the answer to this question is then x being greater than minus 4. Let me just take another example to make it clearer. Okay, we can have 2x minus 6, let's say less than less than minus plus, okay, less than x, okay, let's say minus 2x, less than 10. Alright, for that matter. You can put the equal sign if you want. This, let's say it comes with an equal sign, it doesn't really matter. So, minus 2x less or equal to 10, the minus 6 can go there, becomes plus 6. So minus 2x less or equal to 10 plus 6 is 16. And here is the problem. You've got to be very careful. So 16 divided, you're dividing by a coefficient that is negative. So for negative coefficient, okay, the sign will change or switch to the opposite, to its opposite. Okay, so there we go. So instead of less or equal, it becomes greater or equal. That means x is greater or equal to minus 8. Here we are, some example to give you an idea of how to solve inequalities for students of grade 8. I'm sure you can copy the notes, you can copy these examples, or you can just save them on your device and watch whenever you want. Take care.